Thank you, everyone. We might get started. It's really exciting to see everyone come in here. And today we're going to talk about getting to know Southern Cross University. Before I start, I'd like to acknowledge the people on the Gumbaynggirr language that on the lands that we speak on today. My name's Evan Crandon and I work in the Future Students team. And so I'd like to introduce the three guests that we have with us. I know a lot of you are here to look at some health courses. We have our Executive Dean of the Faculty of Health, Julie Jameen.
Morning.
Julie Jameen is a UK registered midwife, Professor of Midwifery and an Executive Dean of the Faculty of Health here at Southern Cross University. Julie relocated from the University of Hull in the UK in 2020, where she was the Dean of the Faculty of Health Sciences and led research group for maternal reproductive health for the last 13 years. We also have two wonderful student ambassadors, Maddie Ringland here. Maddie, who has recently graduated from a Bachelor of Psychological Science, Clinical Psychology, and who is currently working as a youth access clinician in the Community Engagement and Youth Participation Officer at Headspace here in Coffs Harbour. And Amy Knott has a assessment tomorrow, so we shall. Amy is a current student and she is studying the Bachelor of Nursing. So lots of questions if you're looking to study nursing in the next few years. What I might do is I might start with some questions for my panel, and there'll be lots of time for you to ask questions as well after this. I'll start with Julie. Julie, we're really excited to have you here in Coffs Harbour today. I was hoping that you could share your perspective of what sets Southern Cross University apart and how it fosters a supportive and innovative learning environment.
Morning everybody. Really nice to see you all on this glorious Sunday morning down here in Coffs Harbour. So as Evan said, I'm clearly not from this part of the world. The accent gives it away if nothing else. But something clearly drew me to SCU in order to kind of encourage me to move my life halfway around the globe. And I think the word that often gets shared with me, when we have students, when I meet students, when I have new staff starting, is welcoming. And that's the kind of consistent word, and that's certainly my experience of Southern Cross Uni. It's a university that's really embedded in its community. It's kind of really a core part of its community. For me as a Dean of Health, partnerships are absolutely key to everything we do. Our partnerships with our healthcare providers in the region and in the locality where our students go for their work integrated learning, for their placement experience, and it's often where they end up getting jobs at the end of the day. And I think those partnerships are part of our strength, and that's why we have such good graduate outcomes in terms of employment post many of our programmes. I can speak specifically for health, but I think that's a context that we can sort of spread to the rest of the university as well. And I think the fact that we're small, we're smaller than lots of other universities in many ways, and we're spread across 3 campuses. So our campuses in that sense are smaller than you maybe see if you go to some other universities. And I think what that allows us to be is that we know our students, and that means that we can be more nurturing and supportive of our students as they work through their study pathways. And then I think probably one of the most important things is that we actually offer a really great learning experience as well. The way that we actually deliver our curricula and the way that our students can learn here through that curricula is really unique to Southern Cross University.
And holds extreme benefits as well for those students too. Amy, let's go over to you. Why did you choose Southern Cross University, and what type of things do you love about studying here?
Yeah, awesome. So for me, being a local girl, I really wanted to stay at home after school. I wasn't really interested in moving away straight away, and having the opportunity to have a university in my hometown was great. I still get to live at home and save money, so it wasn't like a crazy transition for me. I was already so comfortable. Another reason is there's always people there. You always feel like you're part of community, and you can meet new people all the time and you feel like you're part of something, which I also love, and the facilities are incredible. So those are the main reasons I chose to come to Southern Cross University. And again, I've always been a smaller learning type person, so I love them knowing me by my name and not a number. It's definitely one of the main reasons as well why I chose Southern Cross University.
And what are you doing next week? Aren't you going skiing?
Oh yes, I forgot about that. Southern Cross has so many events you can do, and so next week I'm actually going on the SU snow trip, And so we get to go with people from all other campuses. So I get to meet everyone from other campuses as well. And we go for a week to New Zealand with the whole team. They have events on every day. We have dinner nights, and we go to the snow every day, but there's there's events every day. They plan it so fun, and it's not just I'm going overseas with some people. It's I'm so excited. I don't basically know anyone there. I'm happy I'm going, and I get to meet all these new people. So I'm so excited for that.
Fantastic. And Maddie, how about you? Is there anything you'd like to add for your experience of studying here?
My experience was definitely different to Amy's. I'm not from Coffs Harbour. I'm from a little town about an hour and a half north from here, and I had a couple of years of a gap here before I came to Southern Cross, and I think the reason I chose it, similar to what they're saying, it's a more intimate vibe. You get to know people. There's 8 or 10 people in your tutorial, so you're like a little family, and you get to ask questions and have that really interactive experience, and it's not sitting at the back of a lecture hall scared to ask questions. And that was very important for me. From a little town and a little school where that was always the vibe, that was definitely something that was, a selling point.
And your studies here have really kicked you off. You're already employed locally as well and using your skills?
Yeah, so I got awesome employment a couple of months after I graduated. So I work at Headspace, as we mentioned at the beginning. So I'm a clinician there, and I work in kind of a social media community engagement capacity as well. So, fingers in all the pies. And thanks to Southern Cross, it was a very easy transition.
That's wonderful. Thank you. Julie, we're going to get into some fun stuff now. It's one of the things that Southern Cross University is really well known for, and it's new for us, but we've seen some terrific outcomes in regards to the Southern Cross model. That's our way of studying here, our learning model, and it's designed to enhance student outcomes and satisfaction. I was hoping, Julie, that you could explain what makes the Southern Cross model unique and how it specifically benefits our students in terms of learning and their experience.
So the Southern Cross model, yeah. So, you will be aware, I'm sure you've all, sort of done research around different universities and different ways of teaching. And most universities will teach in 12-week semesters. So you get 3 12-week semesters of the year. 2 of those will probably be loaded, and 1 will be maybe a lighter or a non-teaching semester. What we do here at Southern Cross is that we actually have shorter units of learning. So 6 6-week terms across the year. So in a 12-week term, you would normally study 4 units if you're doing full-time study. With the Southern Cross model, you study 2 units, but you obviously study them more in the year. So what it does is it gives you a lighter load in terms of those 6-week blocks. But it is a much more interactive way of learning. So it's a hybrid way of learning. There is sort of an online element to the taught load every week, and then there is face-to-face element as well. So there's a lot of self-directed learning. There's a lot of work that you can do flexibly in and around across that 6-week period, but then obviously you come together with the rest of your group in the online environment. You come together in those face-to-face tutorials to actually explore that learning that you're doing. So it's a lot more bite-sized, a lot more kind of, we don't do any standing up in front of classrooms doing 2-hour lectures anymore. That's a thing of the past, and certainly a thing of the past in the Southern Cross model. What we're finding is that a lot of students find that it takes a little bit of getting used to, but once students get into it, and particularly our younger students who have learnt like that more in a school environment, find it a much more satisfying learning experience. And what we're seeing in terms of our outcomes is really good student outcomes. So students are being more successful in that model because the load is not as heavy in those sort of that you would have in those 12 weeks, I suppose. And also students are enjoying it. They like the flexibility of some online, some face-to-face, the ability to do things either live at the time or to be able to go back to that information. So students are doing well in terms of outcomes and success with assignments, but they're also we're also seeing really good feedback in terms of experience. And we're refining all the time. It is still new for us. We've been doing it for 2 years in health, and we take our student feedback really seriously. And every time we run a unit, we take the feedback from the unit before and we continue to refine. So it's a really exciting model. It's garnering a lot of excitement across the sector and a lot of attention across the sector as a bit of a different way of doing things, but a way that is clearly really successful.
And what does that mean for a traditional exam at the end?
We don't do exams. Now, that doesn't mean there might not be sometimes as part of a certain course. So for us, for example, in health, students have to have numeracy skills and they have to be able to do medication management and those kind of things. So there will be some times when we do assessments that maybe are quiz type assessments, sort of multiple choice quiz type assessments or those kind of things, but we don't do exams. So those days of sitting in a room in long tables with people wandering around telling you to shush and people fiddling with their pencils and looking sick are all well and truly gone at Southern Cross Uni. So our assessments are smaller and integrated throughout the 6 weeks. So most 6-week blocks will have 2 assessments. Occasionally there'll be 3, but they're very small. So you might do a small quiz, you might do a small reflection, and then you'll do an assessment at the end that might be a little bit longer, but they're not sort of, again, we're trying to get away from 4,000 word essays where people just, it's much more of an interactive, developmental, what we would call scaffolded thing. So we're just building on your learning all the time.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Julie obviously is very connected in the health area, but across all of our disciplines as well, we're finding students who are completing through the Southern Cross model are finishing with higher GPAs and having better student satisfaction as well. So it's something that we're really proud of here at Southern Cross University, and it's a unique point of why I think this is a great option for you to be coming and studying here as well. But let's talk to some students. Can you share about studying here using the Southern Cross model?
Yeah, so I started in the middle of COVID, so everything was online. And that transition to the 6-week model was a tricky one, as Julie said. It did take a bit of getting used to because I did start in the traditional 3 trimesters. But yeah, I definitely have enjoyed it. It's more kind of more bite-sized, but it's more manageable in the sense that it's 2 units and you're only worrying about 2 assessments at a time or 2 quizzes at a time instead of 4. So it's already halving what you have to worry about. But yeah, my experience at COFS has been really, as I mentioned earlier, really personable, very intimate. All of the lectures online, I'm kind of lazy. Don't know whether I should admit to that, but I don't really attend them live, and I'll watch the recording when I want to, and I'll watch it in 2 times speed because my ADHD loves the little doesn't want to slow down. And then the tutorials are really intimate, and they allow me to ask all of those million questions that just come out. So I've enjoyed that.
Yeah, I'm very similar. For me personally, I'm not someone who thrives off when you're in 12 doing 6 subjects at once. Like having the 2 subjects has really benefited me in my learning, but also my results, and I'm seeing that really clearly now. And I feel like I'm just so more engaged in my work because you're only focusing on the 2 and it's very refined, as Julie was saying. And just for nursing or just health in general and our classes, it's very interactive. I'm a very hands-on learner. I have tutorials and I have labs and workshops. They're so interactive, they're so hands-on. And if you're the learner that just wants to get really engaged and within and be part of something, definitely it's an option for you. And for me, with the terms model as well, some terms I might only come to uni, let's say 3 times a week. At the moment, I'm actually only here 1 day a week, which same load, it actually gives me more flexibility to study, more flexibility to work, and definitely it's very beneficial to studies and your work life and home life.
In regards to kind of student support or support around your learning, you've mentioned, smaller classrooms, so it means you've got direct access to your lecturers as well. But overall support for the university, have you accessed any of the student association, any support services at all?
Yes, we have.
Absolutely.
We're both members of the Student Association, which is great. And I think maybe not a formal sense of a support, but if you're having a bad day, free food is going to cheer you up every single time without fail. And so free food in the student lounge, free food with the Student Association made my day every day. I've also accessed counselling here that you get as a student for free a couple of times when stuff gets a bit tough. So yeah, that was a really great support service.
Yeah, I'm the same. I've accessed the counselling services as well. They're very flexible around you and are open. They're very free in your time. Another thing I've accessed, which in your first year, what they do in one of your classes, they actually bring in some of the services to kind of talk to you and kind of explain to you, which makes it really great if you're not too sure what, like, you know, SU has. They will actually like bring it to your classroom sometimes in those interactive environments where you can ask all those questions and feel comfortable. So one was basically a careers advisor, kind of like what you have at school. You can make appointments with them and they can help you write your resume, and if you're looking to graduate, they can help you do your applications and like kind of step through your path of your career. And I think that's just so supportive, because sometimes when you get to uni, you might get a bit like stuck of what I want to do after, because some degrees do offer so much diversity in careers, if that makes sense. And there's so many other support services such as first year advisors and uni mentors as well, which you'll learn about.
That's great. Julie, was there anything that you would like to add in regards to student support and services?
I guess that just to reinforce that support is there at all levels. So, you know, within the programme that you're actually enrolled in, there'll be the support of all your lecturers and the teaching team and the unit lead, as well as the course coordinator for that course. Then there's all the support services that sit within student services, which are anything from welfare to, you know, that sort of hardship support if people are having financial challenges, as well as the support for study that all sit within the library. So I think there's support on a number of different levels that are both academic and pastoral. You know, we want you to succeed. It's not our point of our purpose of being, I guess, is to graduate high calibre students from Southern Cross Uni who are going to go out into the world and make a difference. And so the thing for us is to wrap around those services and the support that's needed in order to enhance your success and make sure that you are successful graduates at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you. Now's a bit of time for anyone in the audience that wants to ask a question of any of the panel members here. Any of you ladies lived on campus?
I know that it's around 80, 90 beds in Coffs Harbour alone. I have friends that moved from Tamworth, knew no one, and they placed her, for example, in a room with girls that were also studying her degree or close to her degree, so they could have common classes, and like it's very supportive. I would say they're quite large rooms compared to other universities. They're shared. They do accommodate you, and there's someone that actually lives. There's Uni Lodge that runs it, and they can help you through the process as well.
Can I just say something about sort of accommodation, I think, as well, and the sort of campus accommodation experience and the security that Uni Lodge wrap around that is really important as well. I think that's obviously really important to parents.
Yes.
Accommodation here is safe. So I think it's worth saying
Fantastic.
that as well.
That's great. We are wrapping up now, but what I'd like to say is, well, if you're a Year 12 student here today and you haven't already applied through Early Offer, it's really easy. That gives you access and information to what scholarships are available as well, and there's a great team outside to talk about scholarships. Please, scholarships, there's an opportunity for everyone, so I really encourage you to look into what scholarships could be available for you. If you're a non-school leaver or a career changer and you're looking to study at Southern Cross University, it's a little bit a larger process, so there's people to support you doing that as well. But I'd like to thank all of you today, so thank you all.
Thank you.